Judge Eileen Cannon has dismissed the classified documents case against Donald Trump in Florida. This is massive news. We did not see this coming at all. This is a case that she tentatively postponed to a later date. The original trial was set for the end of May. She moved it back a couple of months, though not setting a date. She has just dismissed it in a 93-page court document saying that Jack Smith, the special counsel's appointment, violates the appropriations clause and the appointments clause of the United States Constitution. In layman's terms, she's saying that he was not appointed lawfully and not appointed appropriately. I'm sure we're going to be hearing from the Department of Justice about this momentarily, as Attorney General Merrick Garland believes that he had every right, and his team believes every right, that he could appoint Jack Smith as special counsel. We're going through this right now. It's 93 pages. The printer is cranking up behind me, page by page, but essentially.
Okay, guys, it is your boy Nez here. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not in my studio. As most of you guys know, I'm traveling, but the news never stops. The latest breaking news never stops, and your boy Nez always has to bring it to you. So, as you heard in that video, also stick around. I'm going to explain everything about what this means. This is really, really big news. I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to explain what's going to happen next. And then stick around to the end. I'm going to share with you Trump's response. So stick around for that. So as you heard in the video, Trump faced charges stemming from Jack Smith's special counsel into his possession of classified materials at Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. He pleaded not guilty to all 37 felony counts from Smith's probe, including willful retention of national defense information, conspiracy to obstruct justice, and false statements. Former President Trump's motion to dismiss indictment based on the unlawful appointment and funding of special counsel Jack the Ripper Smith is granted in accordance with this order. The U.S. District Judge, let me actually share this while I'm going through that, because this is huge, and I apologize, I am not in my studio, so I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. But yes, as you can see there, that is the actual motion that has been granted by Judge Eileen. Former President Trump's motion to dismiss indictment based on the unlawful appointment and funding of special counsel is in accordance granted. U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon wrote this on Monday, ruling, quote, the superseding indictment is dismissed because special counsel Smith's appointment violates the appointments clause of the United States Constitution. Trump, following the ruling, told Fox News' Brett Baer, the anchor, that he was, quote, thrilled. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what that means and what that entails. The appointments clause says, quote, ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States be appointed by the president, subject to the advice and consent of the Senate. Although Congress may vest the appointment of inferior officers in the president alone in the courts of law or in the heads of departments. So Smith, however, was never confirmed by the Senate. So more of the incompetence, more of the absolute lack of professionalism, lack of ethics, lack of judicial conduct. I mean, this is something that we've talked about this a lot. We talked about this in the Cash Money Fannie Willis case, the Letitia Big Shames. Obviously, the fake Don Juan Mershon case is a total hoax. So upon careful study of the foundational challenges raised in the motion, the court is convinced that special counsel Smith's prosecution of this action breaches two structural cornerstones of our constitutional scheme: the role of Congress and the appointment of constitutional officers, and the role of Congress in authorizing expenditures by law, Judge Eileen Cannon wrote. She says the framers gave Congress a pivotal role in the appointment of principal and inferior officers. Again, I love this because more and more people say that, Nez, you're such a right. I'm getting family members, I'm getting business associates and network and friends and colleagues all coming out and saying, Nez, you're so right wing. What's wrong with you? I'm not. I'm more of a constitutional centrist than anything. And I don't know what's happened to the left-wing extreme left, which is just diabolical and anti-American. They're not even recognizable anymore. If anything, I'm more of a centrist. I love this sort of framework that Judge Eileen Cannon gives, that Congress gave a pivotal role in this kind of type of order. That role cannot be usurped by the executive branch or diffused elsewhere, whether in this case or in another case, whether in times of heightened national need or not, she continued. She also says, in the case of inferior officers, quote, that means that Congress is empowered to decide if it wishes to vest the appointment power in a head of department. And indeed, Congress has proven itself quite capable of doing so in many other statutory contexts. Wow. A little dig, perhaps, at Judge Juan, the New York Trump Alvin D. God, I can't talk right now. Sorry. The Alvin Do Nothing Bragg case, Judge Fake Don Juan Merchan, Letitia Big Shame. There's so many. I mean, it's like there's so many preposterous hoax trials against this guy. They tried to assassinate him. They tried to bleed his bank account. They tried to shove all these fake trials up his tuchus. None of it is sticking. And finally, we can almost say finally, justice is being served. I really applaud Judge Eileen's acumen and legal stature here. So she says, goes on, Congress has proven itself quite capable, but it plainly did not do so here, despite the special counsel strained statutory readings. In the end, it seems the executive's growing comfort in appointing regulatory special counsels in the more recent era has followed an ad hoc pattern with little judicial scrutiny. That is how you say, eat this in the most professional, powerful, ethical manner imaginable. Wow. So earlier this month, Trump requested a partial pause in the classified documents case brought against him after the U.S. Supreme Court found that presidents have substantial immunity for official acts that occurred while they were in office. Lawyers for Trump had asked Florida court to pause all proceedings until a judge can decide. And so this is an amazing, amazing development, everybody. And two things. So number one, it's not the end of this. And don't forget, I'm going to share with you Trump's response. This is not the end of this, but this is really, really good news, especially when it comes down to the loss of faith that the American public has in not just the judicial system and the institution of law, but numerous other institutions and government entities. This is a really big win for America, I feel like. But the problem is this is probably going to go to the higher courts. It is definitely going to get appealed. And whether or not the appellate courts and the higher courts, maybe even the Supreme Court, decides this or not, there's still a lot of things that can happen here. There's still a chance he could still get convicted of this. I would give a likelihood of him getting convicted at probably less than 30-40%. Maybe even less than that. I'm being very generous here because we're looking at a conservative circuit court in Florida. The appellate courts usually do not go against lower courts in this district, in the Florida district. So we'll see what happens. But your boy Nez will keep you posted on that. So it's not over, but I think this is a great sign for America. And I'd love your thoughts. What are your thoughts? What are your comments down below? Let me show you what Trump said. So this is what Trump said on Truth Social. So Trump said here, as you can see, by the way, I'm on Truth Social, so make sure that you follow me. I'm at Professor Nez. As we move forward in uniting our nation after the horrific events on Saturday, this dismissal of the lawless indictment in Florida should be just the first step, followed quickly by the dismissal of all the witch hunts, the January 6th hoax in Washington, D.C., the Manhattan DA's zombie case, the New York AG scam, fake claims about a woman I never met, a decades-old photo, he says in parentheses, in a line with her then-husband does not count, and the Georgia, quote, perfect, end quote, phone call charges. The Democrat Justice Department coordinated all, he puts in caps, of these political attacks, which are an election interference conspiracy against Joe Biden's political opponent, me, in caps. He's absolutely right. Let us come together to capitalize, he put in all caps, end all weaponization of our justice system and make America great again. So that is Trump's response right there. I can't wait to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this. I'll tell you this. After what happened on Saturday, and I can't believe we caught that live. If you haven't seen that, I'll put it at the end screen, but you got to go to my YouTube channel and watch that, because I show that clip over and over again, discuss it, analyze it. Plus, we have live reactions. We had an eyewitness testimony. You got to check out those videos. They're amazing. They're phenomenal. I truly believe, after everything that he's gone through, and after the fact that the president, Tombstone Biden, that is, said that in his live address to the nation, we need to lower the temperature. We need to these kind of battles should take place at the ballot box, not with violence, et cetera, a bunch of BS, basically. I think that a lot more of these cases, how this is going to impact his other cases, I feel a lot more of these cases are going to lose steam. They're going to lose weight. They're going to lose momentum if they haven't already. You remember, I remind you that the fake Don Juan Merchan was supposed to sentence Trump on the 11th, that horrific night where Joe Biden had that live press conference. I did a live stream on that as well. And he pushed that back to September. So you can almost feel the momentum. And I've said this many, many times before. The only reason these cases have been brought forth is to impede him, to stop him. Dare I say, without sounding like a lunatic, even though they've called me that in the past, dare I say this last attempt, I want to believe there was a lone psycho loony, but this last attempt on the President Trump that we live stream live in Pennsylvania, there's so many things that are coming out now. I saw an amazing post where somebody said, I can't remember who it was, said, can you imagine if there were cell phones in November of 1963 in Dallas when John F. Kennedy was assassinated? Could you imagine how much would have been revealed, how much truth would have been exposed? There was so much footage of that night, of that day, just a couple days ago, where Trump was, basically there was an attempt on his life. And I don't know, it just seems like everything they've tried to throw at this guy doesn't work. And it makes me just 10,000 billion times more supportive of the man. He is a hero. He cares about his country. And I'm glad this happened. But I want to hear from you. I throw this off to you, Nez Nation. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. I can't wait to hear from you. As always, God bless you. God bless America. Check out these videos coming up on the screen. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thank you.